Welcome back to Snippet Coder, and we are back with another video, and this is the 12th video of our WooCommerce admin series. And in this video we will learn about how to create an order list page, and from there we have the order detail page also. And if we click here in the order details, we will get all the detail of that particular order, and on the basis of that order we can also change the status also, and that will be covered in the later video. So before starting the video, if you are new to our channel, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you. So first of all, we have to create a new page here. So we will create one folder here, and the name of the folder is orders. Inside that we will create one file here. The name of the file is orders_list.dart file. So now we will make it as a stateful widget, orders list, and we will extend it with our base page. And here also we will do with base page state. Then here, instead of putting here build, we will put here page UI, and from here in the container, just for the testing, we will return here text widget test. So now we will link this page in our home page, and we will go to the homepage.dart file, and here after the customer list we will change that container and we will replace it with our orders list. So now we will run the application to see is it working or not. So here if I click on the orders, so now you can see here that page is working fine, and here we are getting the text also, and that app bar is not coming, that page title is not coming, that we can also add later on. So now first of all we have to create our model file, and we have to create two model files here. First one is for that order listing, and that model file will be named as a order model, and the second file will be the order details, and that will be used for our order details page. So now we will go to our model folder, and from here we will create a new file that is orders_model.dart file. So here we will create the class here, class order model. So in our order listing page we required only status, then we required the order ID, and then we required a date. So we will create only 3 variables over there because we required only these 3 variables for our UI. And the order detail page we will add the more variable for showing in the order details page. So here we have the class order model, and then we have to create here int type of order ID, then we have a string type of order number, then we have a string type of status, then we have a date type of datetime type of order date. So now here we will create a constructor here, and here we have this type of this dot order ID, and then we have a this dot order number, and then we have a this type of status, this dot order date. And then we have to do the mapping here, and here we have order model dot from JSON, then we have a map string dynamic, and the variable name we have JSON, and here we have order ID is equal to JSON, and here the variable name will be ID, and that variable will be from our API. And then we have our status here, status is equal to JSON status, and then we have the order number is equal to JSON order underscore key, and the API variable name is order underscore key for the order number. And then we have the order date here, order date is equal to JSON date underscore created. So now the variable is of date type, datetime type. So now we have to convert this variable into our datetime. For that we have to put here datetime dot parse, and we will pass this datetime with our string variable. So now what it will do, it will convert our string into our datetime with the help of that datetime dot parse. So here we have to create one small function also, the method that will be used for our decoding the data which will come from the API. And here we have list order model, and here the name of the function is orders from JSON, and here we have to pass dynamic str, and here we have list order model dot from, and here we have to pass str dot map. Then we will do the mapping here, order model dot from JSON, and here we have to pass X. So what it will do, we will call this function order from JSON from our API, and there we will pass the response in the decode format from the API, whatever we are getting from the response body. And then we are doing here list order model dot from, and here we are just doing the mapping here, and in the mapping we are just passing the variable this X variable, and it will do order model dot from JSON. So now we will go to our API service, and there we will create one function for getting the order. So now we will modify our API service file, and for that we have to go to a service folder. There we have API service.dart file, and we will go to the bottom, and here we will create one new function, and we have feature type of list order model, and then we have get orders, and we will make this function as async here. Then we will create here request headers. We have map type of string request headers is equal to, and here we have content type application JSON. Then here we will get the login detail from our shared service, and here we will get one variable where login details is equal to await shared service dot login details, and here we will create the query string. Here we have map string query string is equal to, and here we will create the object. Here inside the object we have to pass two variables. First one is consumer underscore key, and here we will get from login details dot key. And then we have consumer underscore secret, and this one also we will pick from login details dot secret. And then we have to create one variable here where URL is equal to new of URI dot https, and here we have to pass the host here, login details dot host. Then we have the endpoints here, and the endpoint for this one is /wp json /wc/v3/orders, and this is the endpoint from where we will get all the orders. And then here we have to pass the query string. So now here we will create one variable for response is equal to await client dot get request, and here we have to pass the URL. And then we have to pass the headers here, and here we have to pass request headers, and here we will check if response dot status code is equal to 200. Then here we will return orders from JSON, and this is the function which we have created over there in our model file. And here we have json.decode, and here we have to pass response.body, and the else condition we will pass here return null. So what we are doing here, we have created one function get orders, and we have make this function as async here, and the return type is list type of order model. Then we have created a request headers here, and we are passing the content type application JSON. Then we have to fetch the login detail from our shared service. Then here we have the query string, and inside the query string we are passing a consumer key and consumer secret, and there we are passing our login detail dot key and the login detail dot secret from our shared service. Then we have created a URL, and the URL we have login detail dot host, and the endpoint is wp-json/wc/v3/orders. Then we are passing a query string, and then we have created the variable for response, and there we are calling await client dot get request. Then we are passing a URL, and the headers we are passing a request headers. Then we are checking here if the response dot status code is equal to 200. Then we are returning here orders from JSON, and there we are passing json dot decode, and there we are passing here response dot body. In the else condition we are just passing a return null. So now we have to create the provider file for handling our data and all. And here we will go to the provider folder, and from there we will create one file that is orders underscore provider dot that file, and here we will create class order provider with change notifier, and here we will create the object for APS service. And then we have the private variable for our list order model underscore orders list, and then we have the list order model get orders list, and we will fetch from underscore order list. Then we have the constructor here order provider, and there we will create the object for APS service, and here we will put underscore because we have to make it as a private variable here. Underscore APS service is equal to new of APS service. Then here we will put here orders list is equal to null, and by default we will make it as a null here. And here we will get the function for fetch orders, and there we will create one variable list order model is equal to await, and the variable name we are putting here order list is equal to await, and here we have underscore APS service dot get orders, and we will make this function as async here. And here we will check if underscore order list is equal to null, and this is the variable which we have created above here, and we will check here if it is null. Then we will create the object for this one order list is equal to new of list order model dot empty and global true. And after that, if we will check here if orders list, this variable which is coming from our API dot length is more than 0, then we will fill this, and here we have order list is equal to empty. We will make it as empty here, and then we will add the data here order list dot add all, and we will get all the data from our order list and add here. And after that we will call here notify listener. So what we are doing here, we have created a one function here fetch orders, and then here we have created one variable for order list is of type list order model. Then we are checking here if the order list is equal to null, then we are creating the object for that order list, and this is the variable here which we have created. Then we are checking here if the order list dot length, this will which we are getting from the API, its length is more than 0, then that means we are getting the data from the API. Then we are initializing the order list private variable with our empty array. Then we are adding all the array from this API into our private variable. Then we are calling here notify listener. So now let's move to the UI part. So So now we will go to the pages, and there we have the order page, and there we will create one file here, that is visit underscore order underscore item dot start file, and this will be the row which we will create here for our order listing page, and we will make it as a stateless visit order item. And here we have to create one variable here, order model, and that we will pass in our constructor here, this dot order model, and here we will import material. And here we have the container here, and we will put here margin here. So we are putting a margin, and we are using a edge insert dot all 10. Then we have the padding here, and we are putting a edge insert dot all 10. Then we have the child here, and here we will use the column visit, and here we have the children's here. So first children will be our order status. For that we have to create one visit here, private visit, and here we have visit underscore order status, and here we will pass our string type of status. On the basis of the status we will change the text color and all, and here we have to create two variables. First one is for the icon, and we have to show the icon also on the basis of the status, and the second variable we are using a color variable. So here we will check if status is equal to pending, or status is equal to processing, or status is equal to on hold. Then we will return here icon is equal to icon start timer icon, and the color we are using a color start orange color, and the same we will put here for the color also. Color is equal to color start orange, and this color variable will be used for our text and all. In the else if condition, status is equal to completed, then we will copy this and we will paste here, and we will just change the icon here, and the icon we will use here check icon, and the color we are using here green color. Same we have to put here also. Then we will copy this and we will paste here. Then the status we will check here if it is cancelled, or status is equal to refunded, or status is equal to failed. Then here we will change the icon to clear icon, and the color we will change it to red accent. Same we will do for the text color also. In the by default condition, if there is any other status out of these status, we will just copy this one and we will put here. So here we will return row visit. First one we will show as an icon, and the second one we will use here text, and the text we will put here order $sign status, and we will pass here the status. Then we have to do the styling here. Style we are using a text style, and the font size we are using here 15. Color we are using here this color. Then we are putting a font weight, and we are putting a font weight dot bold. So now we will pass this one from here in the first child, and we have to pass here status also, and here we have this dot order model dot status. Then we have to put the divider here, and here the color we are using a color dot gray color. Then we have to put here size box, and the height we are using a 10. Then we have to create the row visit here, because we have to show here order ID and order date, and for that we have to use our row visit. And here we have row visit, and the main axis alignment we are using a main axis alignment dot space between, because the first label we have to show in the left side, and the value of that label we have to show the right side. And then we have the children's here, and the first children we are using a text visit, and here we have order ID, and the second one we are using here this dot order model dot order ID dot toString. Then we will put here size box of height 10, and the same we will do for the date also, and we will copy this one and we will paste here. And here we have order date, and this one we will change it to order date. So now let's save it. So now let's move to the order listing page, and here we will add one method here, and we have override void in state. And then we have super dot in state. Here we have this dot page title, and we will put here orders. Then here we will fetch the orders here. For that we have to call here order provider, and here we have variable of order provider is equal to provider of order provider. Then we have the context listen false, and here we have to import provider package. Then we have to call here order provider dot fetch orders. So here we have to create one visit here, and the name of the visit is visit order list, and here we will make it as a private, and from here we will return new consumer order provider, and here we have the builder here context model. Then we have the child here, and from here we will check if model dot order list is not of null. As you remember, if we go to our provider file, we have added as a null here, because in the initial we will not get any data, and when we call this function, this fetch order, then it will load the data from the API. Till the time there is no data, data. That's why we are putting here the check. If there is no data, then we will show here another widget, else we will show here. If there is no data, then we will show here loader, else once the data is loaded, then we will show here that data which is loaded from the API. And here we are checking if it is not of null, then here we will return by checking here model.orderList.length, as the list is not empty here. So here if we call this fetch order, then it will fetch all the data from the server. In case, so here we are calling here if order list is equal to null, then we are getting the object here. Now if there is no data coming from the API, for that we have to put the check here. If that model.orderList.length is more than 0, then we will show here the list view, else we will show the message of no data found. Here order list.length is more than 0, then we will show here list view dot separated, and here we have shrink wrap true. Then we have the physics here, and we are using a scroll physics. Then we have the item builder here. We are putting a context index, and from here we will return our widget order items, and we will pass here order model.order list, and we will pass here the index. And for the separator builder, we have to put here context index, and from here we will return new divider. In the item count, we have to put here model.orderList.length, and here in the else condition we will just show here by using a center widget, and the child we are using a text widget, and we will put here no data. And here by default we will show here center widget child, and we are putting here circle progress indicator. So what we are doing here, we have created one widget here order list, and there we are returning here consumer with the order provider. Then we are having the builder here, and here we are checking if that model.orderList is not equal to null. That means that object has been initialized from the provider class. Then we are returning here, and by checking here if the model.orderList.length is more than 0, that means we are getting a data from the API. Then we are getting here the list view by using our shrink wrap true, and the physics we are using a scroll physics, and both will be used for the scrolling and all. And then we have the item builder, and here we are just returning our widget order item that which we have created here. Then here in the separator builder, we are just returning a divider here. In the item count, we are just passing our order list.length. In the else condition, if there is no data, we are just showing here text widget of no data, and by default we are showing here circle progress indicator till the time we are not getting any data in our order list. So now we will modify our this page UI also, and here instead of using our container, we will use a single child scroll view. So here we have the child here, and we are passing here underscore order list. So now let's run the application to see is it working or not. Before that, we have to modify our main.dart file also, and here we have to add the entry for our provider file, and here we have order provider, and then we have the order list. So now let's run the application to see is it working or not. So now if I click on the orders, you can see here load is loading here. So now you can see here we are getting a data from the server. You can see here we are getting the status here, and the status with coming with our icon also. Then we are getting here order ID, and then we are getting here date here. The second one you can see here order is completed. The icon is changed to the check icon. Then the third order is for the order processing. The same we are getting here order ID and order date. So now let's move further to have the implementation of the order detail page. So now we will create the model file for our order details, and we will go to our model folder, and there we will create new file that is orders_details_model.dart file. So here we will create the class here, class order detail model. So here we will create the variable which will be used for the UI, and the first one is an int type of order ID, and then we have a string type of order number, then we have a string type of payment method, then we have a string type of order status, and then we have a date type order date, then we have the shipping here, and we will create the class for the shipping also, that we will cover later on. And before that we have to create 3 more variables: double type of total amount, double type of shipping total, double type of item total amount. So now we will require shipping and the line items. So before that we have to create a class for the shipping here, and we have the class shipping, and here we have string type of first name, string type of last name, string type of company, then we have a string type of address 1, string type of of address to, then we have a string type of city, then we have a string type of postcode, then we have a string type of country, then we have a string type of state. So now we will get the constructor here, shipping, then here we have this dot first name, this dot last name, this dot company, this dot address 1, this dot address 2, this dot city, this dot country, and here we have this dot postcode, this dot state. So here we will do the mapping here, and we will have shipping dot from JSON. Here we have map string dynamic JSON. Then we have first name is equal to JSON first underscore name. Then we have a last name JSON last name. Then we have a company is equal to JSON company. Then we have a address 1 here, JSON address underscore 1. Then we have a address 2 here. Then we have a city here, JSON city. Then we have the state here. Then we have the postcode is equal to JSON postcode. Then we have the country here is equal to JSON country. Then we have the state here, JSON state. So now we will get the variable here with the name shipping. So we require one more class, and the name of the class is class line item. And here we have the variables for int type of product ID, string type of product name, int type of quantity. Then we have a double type of total amount, and here we have the constructor here, line item, this dot product ID, this dot product name, this dot quantity, this dot total amount. Then we have to do the mapping here. We have line items dot from JSON, and here we have map string JSON, and here we do the mapping here. Product ID is equal to JSON product underscore ID. As we are getting here variable as a int type, so now we will do the mapping and all. For that we have to do int dot parse, and we will do the parsing here. Then we have the product name here is equal to JSON product underscore, and here we have variable name as a name. Then we have the quantity here, we have JSON quantity, and this one also we will do the int dot parse. Then we have the total amount here is equal to double dot parse JSON total. So now we will use this line item also, and here we will get the variable here list type of line items, and here the variable name is line items. Then here we have the constructor here, and the constructor we will create here order detail model, and here we have this dot order ID, this dot order number, this dot payment method, this dot order status, this dot order date. Then we have this dot total amount, this dot shipping total. Then we have this dot item total amount. Then we have this dot shipping. Then we have this dot line items, and here we will do the mapping and all. And here we have order details model dot from JSON map string dynamic JSON, and here we have order ID is equal to JSON ID. Then we have the order number is equal to JSON order underscore key. Then we have the payment method here is equal to JSON payment underscore method underscore title. Then we have the order status is equal to JSON status. Then we have the order date here is equal to JSON order date underscore created, and we will do the parsing here, and here we have date time dot parse. Then we have the shipping here, shipping is equal to, and we will check here if JSON shipping is not equal to null, then we will have new shipping from JSON, and we will pass here shipping JSON, else we will pass here null. Then we have the line items here, and we will check here if JSON line underscore items not equal to null, then we will create the object here line items is equal to new of list line items dot empty gravel true. Then we will do the for each loop, and here we will copy this one, and we will put here for each, and here we have line items dot add new line items from JSON, and here we will pass v. Then we will have line item total here, and for that we have to calculate here only, and here we have item total amount is equal to line items. If it is not of null, then we will get all the line item total from this variable line items dot map double m dot total amount dot reduce, and here we have a b, and here we will put a plus b, and this will give us the total of all the line item on the basis of their total amount, and if it is null, then we will show here 0. Then we have the total amount here, and that we will put here total amount is equal to double dot parse JSON total. Then we have the shipping total is equal to double dot parse JSON shipping underscore total. So the model file is ready. So now let's move further to add the API service for that order detail and all. For that we have to go to our service folder. There we have API service, and here we will just copy paste the function which we have created, and we will paste here, and we will change this list to order detail model. The function name we will change it to get order details, and we will just change that our endpoints here. After this orders, we will put here $, and we have to pass one parameter here, that is string type of order ID, and this one we will pass here. And here if the status code is 200, for that we have to create one small function here inside our order detail model, and here we have order detail model order details from JSON, and here we will put string str order details model from JSON, and here we will pass JSON.decode, and here we will pass str, and we will import here dot convert. So we will copy this one and we will put here, and from here we will remove JSON decode that we have already defined there, and we will just pass here response body. So what we are doing here, we have created one function here that is a replica of our same function, that is get orders. We have just changed the return type as a order detail model, and then we are passing here as a parameter as a order ID. Then we are getting the same request header, then we have the login details here, then we have our URL here. We have just changed the endpoint here by adding only the order ID here, and after that in the response.status200 we are just returning an order detail from JSON, and we are passing a response.body. So now let's move further to create the UI for our order detail page. So now we will create the UI for our order detail page, and we will go to our pages folder, and there we have order folder, and there we will create new page that is order underscore details dot file, and we will make it as a stateful widget order details, and we will change it to base page. Here also we will change it to base page. So now we will create one widget here for the UI, widget underscore order details UI, and there we will pass variable for order details model, and here we have model, and from here we will return single child view scroll view. Here we have the padding here, and we are using a edge inset dot all 10, and then we have the child here, and we are using a column widget. Main axis alignment we are using a main axis alignment dot start, and then we have the cross axis alignment, we are using a cross axis alignment dot start. And then we have the children's here. On the first children we are using a text widget hash, we are just putting hash for the order number, and here we have model dot. Before that we have to put here $, model dot order ID dot toString. Then we have our order date, we will copy this and we will paste here, and we will change it to order date. And then we have the size box here, and we are using a size box, and the height we are using a 20. After that we have to put here text widget to show delivered to, and there we will put all the information from the shipping class and all, and here we have delivered to. Then we will show here text widget $, model dot shipping dot address 1, and we will do same for our address 2 also. We will copy this and we will paste here. After that we require to show here city, then we have to show the state also. For that we will put here inside the city label and all. We will copy this and we will paste here, and this one we will change it to state. Then we will put the size box here, and size box we are using just for the spacing and all. Then we have to show the payment method, and we will copy this one, and we will just change the variable here dot payment method. Then we will put here divider. Here we have the divider, and the color we are showing a colors dot gray color. Then we are putting a size box, and we are putting a size box of height 5. Then we have to show the list item. For that we have to create one more widget here. We have widget underscore list order items, and here we have to pass order model, and there we have to return the list view. We are returning here list view dot builder. Then we have to show here item count order details, and here we have model dot line items dot length. Then we have the physics here, and we are using here scroll physics. Then we have the wrap here, shrink wrap true. Then we have the item builder. Here we have context comma index, and from here we have to return more widget, and that widget we will create here, and that will be used for our product items and all. Widget underscore product items, and here we have to pass the parameter of line items product, and from here we will return list style. Here we have dense true. Then we have the content padding, and we are using a edge inset dot all 2. Then we have the title, and we are using here new text widget, and here we will pass product name. Then we have the subtitle, and there we will show our quantity and all, and here we are using text widget quantity, and we have to show it from our model product.quantity. Then we have the trailing here, and we are using a new text widget, and there we will show that price and all, and here we have product or total amount. So from here in the list order items, we have to return underscore product items, and we have to pass here model line item, and we will pick from our index. So now we will call this list order item from here, and we will pass our model here. So now we will put a divider here, we will copy this and we will paste here. Then we have to show the item total and all. For that we have to create one small widget again. So it is always recommended to use a small chunk of widget instead of putting all the code in the one widget, because if we create a multiple widget in the single page, it will be more readable and more easy to maintain. So it is always recommended to create always a small chunks of widget and all. So that's why we are creating all the small widget again and again. And here we have widget, and we will just copy this one and we will paste this one, and we will change the name it to underscore item total, and here we will pass string label string value, and here in the title we will show here label. We will copy this and we will paste here, and in that subtitle is not required. In the trailing we will just change the value here, and we will change here to value. So now we will copy this one and we will call here. We have to call 3 times to show all the total and all. We will paste here and we will pass the label here, and the first label is item total, and the value we are passing here model dot item total amount dot to string, and we will copy again and we will paste. Here we will show that shipping charges and all, shipping charges, and here we will show shipping total. Then we will copy again and we will show the amount paid here, total amount paid, and here we will change it to total amount. So our this widget is ready, that order detail UI. So now we will change here with our page UI, and we will remove this one, and here we will just return our new future builder. Here we have the future. Before that we have to create the object for our API service, and here we will add override void end state. Here we have super dot end state, and then we have API service is equal to new of API service, and here we will pass our page title also, that is order details. So now we will call here the future builder. We will have API service dot get order details, and here we will just pass the order ID, and for that we have to modify our constructor to include our order ID and all, and here we have to create one variable of end type order ID, and that order ID we will pass from our visit item which we have created earlier, and from there we will call this one, and here we have the constructor this dot order ID, and here we have this dot visit dot order ID dot to string. Then we have the builder here. We have build context, then we have the async snapshot order detail model, and here we have the variable that is model. Then from here we will return by checking if model dot has data, and here spell mistake and all, and from here we will check if the model dot has data. Then we will return here this widget which we have created, and we will pass here model dot data, and in the default state we will just return here center widget with the child circular progress indicator. So now this UI is ready. So now we have to link this UI with our widget of that items, this widget order items, and we will go there, and here we have to create one button here to linking our order detail and all. So here we will create text button. Our child we are putting here order details. In the on press we have to put the event here. So here we will call get ought to, and here we have to call our page where we have to redirect it. The page name is order details, and here we have to pass the order ID, and here we have this dot order model dot order ID. So now let's run the application to see is it working or not. So here we have the application. So now we will click on the orders. So now if I click on the order details, so here you can see loader is loading here. So here we are getting the error here. So now let's debug the code what the issue is. So here we are getting the error in our line number 44. So now let's go to our line item model file. So here the issue is we have to change it to dynamic, and then also we have to remove this mapping and all. So now reload the application to see is it working or not. So now if I click on the order details, so you can see here loader is loading here. So here again we are getting the error in our quantity also. So now let's move this one also and reload the application to see is it working or not. So now if I click on the order details, So now you can see here we are getting all the information here, but some information is not coming. So if we go to another order, suppose if I click on the order pending, so if I click here, so now you can see here we are getting the order ID, then we have the date here, then we have delivered to, and here we are getting all that shipping detail and all, and here we are getting the payment method, and then we are getting all the information of the product which we have ordered, then we have the item total, then we have the shipping charge, then we have the total amount paid and all. So all that order details are coming here. So in the next video we will cover about our updating of the order status from the application, and on updating the status we will send the push notification to the customer. So I hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. I will come back soon with another awesome videos. Thank you all.